If you want to build a better world, you need to build a better you. Mr. Contest Chair, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. When the day is done and we are lying on our beds, probably a feeling of fear arrives. And it's a feeling when we think about our future. Maybe the idea of losing our love interest, losing our security, losing our house, or maybe losing our job. Perhaps we have shared this experience. It's the idea of falling down into the abyss, and you're spinning around and falling and falling and falling, but you never reach the end. When fear comes to you, anguish gets inside of you, and it prevents you to act. That means you don't know what to do. You don't know how to react. You can't move. You are paralyzed. I am very connected with this feeling because recently I had an accident. I was swimming in the sea, and suddenly a huge wave came, turned me upside down, pushing me and crushing me against the sand. I broke 4 bones, then was taken to a hospital, had surgery, and had to wait for 4 months to recover. But thank God, now I'm back again, talking to the world. At the moment, I wasn't afraid. But as I started drinking water, I had a sense of drowning. And then I couldn't breathe. Somehow, I left my face and I started breathing again. I stood up and I started walking like a zombie back to the shore. In that moment, I had the feeling of being afraid because I said, what's going to happen with me? What's going to happen with my life? With my plans? Am I going to see the people I love? Will I have more opportunities, or is this just the end? And I began to feel confused. I couldn't hear anything. Therefore, I started screaming, "Ah!" But not because I wanted help. I was screaming because I couldn't hear myself, and I wanted to see if I reacted. I wanted to realize if this thing that I was experiencing was real, or if it was part of a dream. This idea really has made me appreciate life in many, many ways. And in that moment, an idea came to me. And I thought about God. And I said, God, I'm in your hands. Do whatever you want to do with me. I'm your instrument here on earth. Use me. And in that moment, something magical happened. I started feeling confident, relaxed, and I was not afraid. I was in much pain, but not afraid. When I was 7 years old, my family and I paid a visit to some friends. I was a little child, so I joined a group of children, and we were playing around. But then, we started talking, and we started telling stories. And these stories were about ghosts, shadows, monsters that visit children at night, death, the devil. And as I heard the stories, I registered all those images in my brain. I have a question for all of you. What kind of beings does a monster eat? Human beings. When we returned home and it was time to go to bed, I turned off the light in my room. And suddenly, in the darkness, I felt afraid. I felt scared. So I ran again, but now to my bed. I covered myself with a blanket, and I began to sweat. I needed fresh air. But I kept myself covered instead. The next day, I told my mother what had happened, and she said, when you feel scared or afraid, just pray to God, and He will come and protect you, and nothing will harm you. So I did, and I was never scared again. I believe that when we have this idea of a greater force, it comes to help you and rescues you. Let me share with you a story about the Wizard of Oz. In this tale, the lion, he wanted to meet the wizard because he wanted to ask for courage. He believed to be a coward. He said that he didn't have the energy to make decisions. But later in the story, the lion has to face adversity, and he does well. And then he realizes that that energy he was looking outside had been there inside all the time. He was by nature a fearless being. If you don't control your fears will control you. Do we need outside help? Yes, we do. We need models to follow. And let me tell you that I had the privilege of being raised by two loving parents who always taught me to fight for my dreams, to persist, to believe in myself. And then I am nurturing a giant that lives inside. And it's a giant that we all share. We all have that giant inside of us. It's the giant called confidence. And we need to nurture it. You have a giant inside. Release your giant. Trust in yourself. And then nothing can hurt you. And I'm gone.